I think the parents in this show are awesome. Like, so speaking of questionable parents, the Dark Archer. So the Dark Archer, is Oliver gonna regret saving his life? Is this gonna change?
Yeah.
Is this gonna change?
Yeah.
Can you guys give us a little hint at how Malcolm's gonna change or potentially change his viewpoint on who this vigilante is and what his role is?
I think what's interesting about Malcolm, and you've heard a little bit about it, and it's going to be explored further, is that he lost his wife, and for us, in a way, Malcolm is sort of evil Bruce Wayne. We talk a lot about Batman Begins, that moment in the movie where Bruce goes through the training with Ra's al Ghul, and then he's told to execute a criminal. In our minds, in the movie, Bruce doesn't do it. In our minds, Malcolm did. And, I think, that was really important to us, and Greg, really, forced us to, to really think about it in terms of like, the villain has to have sympathy. Everyone's the hero of their own story. And, what's really interesting about, Malcolm versus Oliver is they both want the same thing in an odd way. They both want what's best for the city. They both want to clean up the city. I think Malcolm would say that Oliver's going about it very slowly.
He's got to get 100 episodes out.
Yeah.
So in his defense.
But we have great stuff coming up where you're really going to find out a lot more about Malcolm and what's driving him, and obviously what the undertaking is, the very scary sounding undertaking, and and getting John Barrowman, I haven't made much of a secret of the fact that I'm a lifelong Doctor Who fan. So it's
We can't tell.
Yeah, you can't tell. But to watch episode 16 and to see with Alex Kingston and John Barrowman, more than my little Whovian heart could take sometimes. But John is just such a tremendous actor and a great guy, and I think also, in all seriousness, I think part of what he brings to the role, because he has played, Jack Harkness and played such an iconic, hero, that in bringing that to the villain, I think it does make you question how bad Malcolm could possibly be, because, he in any other show, John would be the hero.
And like you said, he's the hero of his own stories, so.
Yes.
Yeah. Speaking of villains, because I love villains, you guys set up Deathstroke early on. There's a great dynamic going on the island now. There, obviously, something happened because he's got his mask with an arrow through it.
Yeah, but first I have to say, David Nutter, when we were doing the pilot, said, guys, we need one more secret on the island. We need one more mystery. There's not enough. We need something. And we were sitting around talking about it, and we're like, I don't know, maybe there's like a totem pole or something. And it was Jeff Johns who said, Deathstroke's mask should be like sitting somewhere. So, and it's funny because it was a small little moment that it worked for us in so many ways, because for one thing, it told the comic book fans, I think, right away that first we weren't screwing around, and but then also it's provided Deathstroke, the character, being part of the show, played by Manu Bennett. So that's all due to Jeff Johns.
What can you tell us a little bit about that relationship, because it's become like the heart of the island now. It's a wonderful relationship. I mean, I think seeing Steven trying to do one of those pull-ups was hysterical. But those two together, it's a really great dynamic. Is that going to be a big part of the show going forward?
Well, that's our hope. A lot of that's going to depend upon Manu and his availability and whatnot. But we love him, and we love writing Oliver and Slade together. I mean, they are sort of like a proto Butch and Sundance on the island, and that's a huge source of fun for us. But then soon we'll be complicating that relationship in future episodes, not necessarily drawing tension to it, but adding an unexpected third element to it.
Yes. Nice.